And we've already gone down for jungle.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was the consideration. Like, do we want to take Sejuani here? But then you're giving Tristana Rumble, and you probably just lose the game, right? So, Owner, he's got a really deep champion pool. I think you kind of just... You don't have to, like, prioritize that Sejuani right away because you're giving away too much. It does mean that Owner will be playing the Sejuani alongside of Tristana, which is also very strong. But when you get a lot of target bans, it leaves a lot of strong stuff open. And so, Corki Tristana, everybody's favorite, it's coming back.
Zeika just wants to let everyone know he would prefer not to play the Corki, but he will in fact be playing the Corki. We're not going to see a bottom lane Corki. There is no way, no how. Not going to happen. Nobody fall for it. It was never going to occur. And it is going to be a Poppy instead to come through here. Bit of a flex pick here, potentially, in several different roles. Could be Jungle Poppy for Peanut, is very famous for that. Could be Delight's Poppy, and, you know, could be some of the sort of flexibility we see here with the Rumble. Again, unlikely.
Yeah.
But it is possible.
There is a possibility, but probably at least 95% going to Peanut, right? So... does come through, and then
Corki bot right now, I think it's very weak and not viable, as the Senna is going to be the next thing. So two T1 specific bottom lanes that are very powerful. Now they can trade Zeri for Ezreal, and Guma was able to interview him. He's been working on his Zeri a lot, has felt a lot more confident on the pick as of late. Whatever they lock in here will be blind. The Kai'Sa feels pretty good. The Ziggs feels pretty good. But if you just want to fight scaling with scaling, trade Ezreal for Zeri with a Leona already banned, this feels pretty good. However, they have Nautilus, so they will be able to put Delight on that. And it does feel very strong here for the side of Hanwha Life Esports.
Yeah, it feels like a no-brainer, I would say, to pick up that Nautilus. What are they going to go with it, is the question. Ezreal will come through. Feels like Ezreal Nautilus, not the most insane lane, but, you know, Ezreal is so strong, and they could go for something else.
They could otherwise go Ezreal Karma that we're not seeing. This
Rell or Alistair, another choice.
Yeah, this is a great setup for Engage. You're going to play into the Lulu if you lock this one in. That was my concern with the Alistair, is just the Lulu's going to kind of crush you early, even with Ezreal's power level right now. It's a pretty easy rotation here for Keria. Has great follow-up for the Sejuani.
I think it's really going to come down to laning phase in this one. You know, can Doran get through the Gnar laning phase? Can the Viper, Delight, Ezreal, Alistair get through the Lulu as well? If you can deal with that, I feel like they come out very strong. But T1 definitely very known for winning lanes and winning games, so we'll see if they can do that on their side with some of the picks that they have opted into this time around. As we're ready, let's jump onto the Rift for game number 1.
생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
Here we go, game 1, and already Zeika's going to be pushed out of the Tri-Brush as they are looking for a level 1 here. Cheeky little ward in the lane as well, just try to get a good sense of maybe if a lane swap is going to come or anything like that.
Yeah, really pretty cool to see that with how popular lane swaps were at EWC and the shenanigans we've seen with T1 in particular. This will be missed, this ward, it looks like, by Peanut. So that one is going to stay up, so they have full vision here. And we'll see the Ezreal head back down to bottom lane. You can see Delight is already on his way there. Ping's going down in the mid lane as he is seen. And you know what? High value. With this ward, we'll be able to see Peanut starting the Raptors here.
Yep.
So he tried to clear, but it's a pretty common ward location for the blue side to drop that one down, but not necessarily the red side, and he does miss it. But this is some value information here as well that we'll be able to see Owner's timing when he comes over to respond.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Guma and Keria able to get down here very early, already putting on a little bit of harass. Viper's role also going to be incredibly important on the Ezreal, who can sometimes just carry lanes by himself. Peanut, very famous Poppy player. Loves his Poppy. There was an entire meta where he was like, no, Poppy's great, and he just dove bot over and over and over, and the team just didn't lose very often. Now, Faker's going to jump into Zeika, and he might just die here. One auto would do it. He's got a flash early. And that's not the first time Faker has dealt with that trade.
Yeah, surprised Zeika didn't go for the flash himself, but just wanted to guarantee that he gets the advantage there. And Faker be on the losing edge of both sides of this matchup, fortunately for him now. And see Owner come over here. He knew that Peanut was in the vicinity and trying to now break this setup here by Zeika in the mid lane. And Peanut is not here, just going to be a push away.
Yeah, Owner, they knew that the Poppy was on the top side of the map, so unless Peanut immediately backed and ran towards his red buff side, then maybe he could challenge, but looking at the bottom lane state, they're not going to try to challenge this by any means. So.
No, and he had the ward on the blue side Raptors, he had the blue buff, or the red buff warded on blue side as well, so full information to T1, lots of value out of the wards, and see Peanut coming over here.
Uh-oh. Saves pretty low. He's on the run as fast as those small Yordle legs can carry him.
It is crazy that Rumble actually also wins this one. You know what I mean? Like, he actually also beats the range matchup in Dinar. It's very silly. Rumble, by the way, the highest prio champion in the LCK, above Tristana. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And it's surprising also, okay, Zeus has to flash.
Nice flash, but I don't know if it saves him here. He gets under the turret, and Rumble just going to burn him to a crisp. Not the first time we've seen that either. The damage at this level is just so high.
And not the first time we've seen Zeus teleport back to lane to die. We've seen a lot of that in this meta, unfortunately for top laners. Not just Zeus, Bin having his own disaster there as well, but now you're down TP against the Rumble, who did go Ignite, of course, but it is very frustrating, the situation here for Zeus, who will lose a significant amount of farm. He's already down 15 CS.
Zeika, awkward spot. He has to go aggressive here on a Faker who should be backing away. He jumps away at the exact right moment, and Zeika will be punished by Owner, who does take him down, and at least is able to trade a kill back for T1.
Yeah, nothing personal, kid. Faker with the calculation this time around. He's had a few misses. Well, this time does exactly the amount of damage he needs to do and then gets out with just an auto's HP worth. And this is after the teleport. Peanut is here, so can just instantly force the flash because he has steadfast presence. Zeus will still get the hop off, but it doesn't matter. Doran will take him out regardless. And then Zeika here, just a bit too far forward, looks for the all-in onto Faker because, as you mentioned, there's really nothing else he can do. And does get taken out by Owner here. Losing his flash as well, quite significant. Could change the tide of this matchup.
You know, there was definitely a way for Zeika to just Valkyrie and flash away, but Faker was pretty low, and he said, okay, I'm just going to go in there, try to kill him. Doesn't work out, and Faker's continuing to try to take these aggressive trades. At this point, looks like it's working a little bit better for him. He did pick up a cull, so we'll be trying to stack that to catch up a little bit here.
Definitely.
I say catch up. I mean, he didn't die, but
yeah,
did feel like he was taking some rough trades.
Speaking of catching up, you know, Zeus did end up dying, did have to expend his TP, but because Doran didn't have one, he is still maintaining CS parity there on the top side of the map. He's just picked up that no magic mantle, and Huni would be proud of the Stork Shoe start, so that's going to rip through a lot of those resistances there that Zeus grabs with the mantle, but still, nice recovery there on the Gnar, on the top side, doing a little bit better.
Yeah, we got some information, by the way. Faker was on 2 HP when he hopped away. Very calculated. Could have been calculated better to 1 HP, but we'll forgive him this time. Level 6 is Doran, and Zeus is level 5 without flash. And he will have a hop, but there is the equalizer. Zeus just going to run it off, but man, Rumble is having a good time.
He really is. That's just going to be the tempo equalizer. And he said, you may have equalized the lane, but equalize this. As he puts it down. Doran is, looks like he did not have his harpoon just yet. Has it now, but Did not stop the back there. And that's going to be plate gold going over the Rumble at this point in the game. He has an 850 gold lead from that kill and the CS advantage he has up here. Rumble, shockingly, you and I were talking about this before the show a little bit, shockingly very low win rate at 60%. I actually expected much higher. I thought maybe he'd be surfing around 80. It's a pretty low win rate for how impactful he is in these games as Peanut is caught.
He is caught, and with the Rumble immediately pulling off the lane. He's not going to continue on that one, but here comes Faker once again, trying to take a trade onto Zeika, just going to push him away. All things considered, a very even trade. But Faker now down in ult. As meanwhile, down on the bottom side, huge combo onto Guma, gets a big shield, throws out the Zeri ult just to push them away. As Keria continues to pressure into Viper. That's another extendo beam, but have they pressured too far? Delight really wants to punish this. Has the flash. Maybe waiting for his cooldowns to come up here as he continues. Nope, just going to go straight into that one, but maybe a bit too far as tons of damage coming out for Guma and Keria and Delight. Oh, he's going to get flashed on Guma. Going to take him down in the extended trade.
As soon as you see an Alistair running like that and chasing, you know it's going to have an unhappy ending, especially with Zeri. He can very quickly close the gap there over the wall. Bit of a misjudge of the damage. Viper had flash as well, so maybe he could have followed up and done some additional damage there. I think that was the idea. Delight said, okay, maybe they flash. We end up chasing them and killing them if they try to challenge. Guma traded back so much damage with his ult, though, in the initial exchange that ends up being fantastic for him because Guma has level 6 advantage here. Viper hits 6, Delight goes in, and that allows the true shot to come through, but it's barriered by Guma, so otherwise he's dead here. But now he knows, okay, I have the advantage, I have my ult. Viper goes super low, and it's at this moment where Keria heals and they back off, and Delight's like, all right, we get this flash no matter what. The problem is that he doesn't hit the combo. The flash means he's too far up, and it's a Zeri, so hello. Slide in she goes, flashes for the kill. They don't get the kill onto Viper, which would have been more significant. T1, mind you, do expend both flashes for the play, but absolutely worth it.
Yeah, and Delight unfortunately flashes as he dies, so not going to be feeling too good about that one. So not much you can do. I mean, this was always going to be a little bit of a struggle unless Viper was able to really hard carry. And, as he gets his items, he should be able to feel a little bit better as long as he's not full-on, head-on engaging into this area. As now, Zeus in a little bit of trouble, but he will exchange flashes with Doran just to get out of there as that top lane continues to be a struggle.
Yeah. Doran doesn't drop the Ignite, but still will force Zeus to back here. His TP is coming back online. I say that, he actually does stay, as he wants to try to maybe break the freeze that Doran might set up. I don't know the exact wave state up there, but it's looking pretty rough. Yeah, okay, it's going to be fine. We'll be able to get the back off. Doran will be able to walk back to lane. That teleport advantage feeling pretty good because Doran, he flashed for that, but if he puts him down to the Ignite range, I think it's a lot better, but instead, Zeus is just going to kind of hang out up there under turret, and we'll be able to TP back freely. So not too bad at the end of the day. Down a flash now is Doran.
Yeah, just putting on as much pressure as possible, though. Going to feel pretty good. We see the mid lane still relatively even. We've got one guy stacking a call, the other stacking a tier, as the Corki versus Tristana matchup continues to just make us very happy.
It's so prevalent, It's just
here comes Peanut again. And Meganar just went down. Zeus is going to clear the entire wave, though, and push it back.
There's no equalizer yet either.
He can get it back here. If he reads this, I mean, Peanut, though, he should be able to stop this, though. As now he's going to get in there, and they're just going to dive without a wave. They don't need a wave. They're Rumble and Poppy. So they're just going to dive the turret.
Fortunately, Zeus didn't have flash from the earlier exchange. That pressure from Doran just continues, and we said it earlier, there's no big draft gap here, but the Rumble really does stick out like a sore thumb in terms of the pressure there top side, and that's why I gave the edge to Hanwha. It's their 500 gold lead right now as Hanwha go in.
Yeah, Owner, he is going to get one grub, but he is also going to get a gray screen as the entire team of Homa Life Esports comes in and annihilates him. And the rest of the T1 are like, well, we're not going to fight this. You don't have a top laner right now, so not sure why they're trying to go so hard on the grubs. And Homa Life Esports will take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think just a bit mistimed there, because Owner can just get one and get over the wall, but unfortunately, it's a little bit slow on doing so. Fast rotation from Hanwha. As Zeika will lose half his health bar, but we're doing it again.
Guess who's dead again?
Guess who has Equalizer this time?
Yeah, Zeus doesn't have Meganar either. I mean, he might barely get it. No, not going to happen. And it's just clinical here from Homolife Esports. This is Peanut's bread and butter.
Yeah.
This is what he does.
He just dives. He's like, where's the pressure point? I'm going to dive it. He's diving it. What was the old Hanwha tagline? Super dive?
Yeah.
He's living up to that.
Made by Peanut.
Yeah, well, I mean, Doran's, he thought about it for a minute. He was like, should I equalize the wave? I don't think so. I think I just kill the turret and use the equalizer for the next dive.
Yeah. And I was misled in this draft. I'm like, you know what? The Nard's going to be fine. He's going to get the... Nope.
I'm sorry about
Especially not with Peanut just absolutely setting up a tent in the top lane. Like, you just don't get to play the game. It doesn't exist.
There's no permafrost synergy in this draft here for the side of T1 as well, so feels kind of bad as the TP's coming in.
Yeah, they're going to get the flash for Faker's TP. He was probably going to TP in there anyway. But still, a little bonus. But now the TP comes in, and guess who? It is going to be Zeika looking to fight this one. But now Peanut goes too deep. They go in way too early. As a kill already going to go over to the Zeri. Guma looking for more, but now the Hex Gate's coming in, and Zeika doing a bit of damage. Also, the Ezreal and its chase potential. They will respect it, and they will back away with the Infernal and a kill.
Yeah, he might need to check the game version. There's no package for this TP play, unfortunately. It will be able to push T1 away, but they lose the Dragon. He loses his TP for the aggressive play that ends up not paying off. And T1 will end up winning out big on this exchange. And they're able to utilize the fact that Doran doesn't have TP, he's not going to be able to come into these team fights, and they want to take these Dragons early where the Rumble can't get involved, because yes, they've gotten a lot of pressure done topside. With this Rumble, they took out the turret, but they haven't been able to otherwise utilize that power level in a team fight. It's just going to be beating up on a Gnar, the orange buff situation. As, you know, here, True Shot Barrage comes through. It's pretty close to a steal, but it's not enough, and then Zeika is just on the wrong side of this fight. He's polymorphed instantly and has to back out. Because he is quirky, he will be able to escape, but Homolife fast on the grub deny play, fast on the punish there, a little bit slower on this one, unfortunately. And T1, we soul point for Hextech Soul again.
Yeah. Hextech Soul coming out. Very nice mechanical play there from Owner, just to flash over the Steadfast Presence, make sure they absolutely 100% confirm that kill onto Peanut, and that they can continue with the fight. Now Faker is going to get this bottom lane turret, as the Rift Herald is going over to Homolife Esports, so not a bad trade, all things considered, but there's still a huge, gigantic Rumble issue in this game.
Yeah, now wait until we see what happens when he shows up to team fights, because so far, you know, he's been killing an R, he's been killing a turret. That's where he has the gold lead from.
It's going to be one of those things from solo queue. It's like, how did the Rumble get that fed?
Yeah, exactly.
Where you see him in the first team fight, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
this guy is huge.
You think you could take him down, but just wipes your whole team.
Yeah. Now, Doran, he does have a lot of pressure on him, because I do feel like T1 are at least matching on other sides of the map, and Guma is huge. So feels like T1, they are behind. They're not in a great spot because of this Rumble, but they also do have the angle of the Zeri, so...
And the 2 Dragon advantage that they have means they can take fights on their terms. They can punish the lack of teleport for this Rumble relatively easily.
Yeah.
So I do see the angles back into this game for sure, and we've seen T1 at way worse deficits than this recover as well, off of some clutch plays with good map rotations.
Take a look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, thought he would buy it straight up, but...
He's close.
Not yet.
But the situation here is definitely dire if Homolife can, you know, start bringing this Rumble to team fights and start fighting over these Dragons, as he's still teleportless, still lurking. You know, he's clearing wards, he's getting more money. He's not even going to clear that. He's not interested.
Yeah. Guma, he is fine.
The Shiv that the Zeri has allows her to compete with the Ezreal push pretty easily, and it's going to be, you know, significant advantage still in terms of farm here for Guma, but can also allow them to contest Prio pretty easily. And I think one of the big issues for the composition here of Hanwha is they don't have a way to force T1 off of an objective if they have Prio. As Keria might be in a bit of trouble. Maybe not.
Just a phosphorus bomb worth of trouble. As the push is coming in here, Owner with a nice ult that is going to hit the Alistar though. Can Delight get away? The answer is yes. Going to trade some ults. The redemption is finished here for Keria. and will heal them back to full. There's not a big objective to fight over here, but they did want to stop the push from Homolife Esports.
I mean, the turret in itself in this game state is kind of an objective, as Guma's just going to get shielded this time by Keria. Doesn't need the barrier on that true shot. But it does mean that Alistair down in ultimate here, as this fight does take off. He can get here very quickly because of the Hex Gate. And they have a lot of prio right now. Oh boy.
Now, he doesn't know what's on the other side, so Peanut's not going to overcommit. But Zeus, he knows that he is always in danger of being dove. Even 17 minutes into the game, he knows that Peanut will be there. So good check from him, but also great pressure once again from Peanut to just get Homolife Esports more control of the map, more pressure on this bot turret.
Yeah. Now, T1 still 20 seconds before this break spawns. So we'll see if they can clear up this mid wave. Just a Q here from Viper will connect with a red buff. As Faker does have TP, and this is where T1 can kind of start pulling Hanwha around. Zeus gets out of here with the Mega. Zeika does come back here. He has his own TP. The Rumble, though, on the right side of the map for this Dragon. It's not going to be stuck in TP Purgatory. It's crushing the lane, and I think maybe T1 found an angle, but it's just short-lived, honestly, and now Peanut's just blocking any sort of defense here of the turret.
This is just Peanut. He just rules the Rift right now, and Guma's dead. So the battle of the carry is going to go easily over to Doran. Once again, alley-ooped by Peanut, just on a different part of the map. And Homolife Esports, they're just doing a great job. Yes, Faker is going to get this top turret, but look at the rest of the map. They're just pressuring everything, and they're going to get a Hextech Drake.
Yeah,
as they begin to really roll their lead ahead.
Exactly. Faker will get that turret, but they got the mid turret, and they got the Dragon, and they got the kill onto Guma. And that's, you know, unfortunately for T1, not a trade you're looking for, as now they can just put Rumble back in the top lane. And, you know, at this point, Doran's not going to feel too bad about his lack of TP, because he's just going to be sitting alone in the side when there's no objective on the bottom side. Now it's the Baron that's spawning in 1 minute. He'll be on the right side for that. Don't think we're going to be seeing a very fast Baron take in this game, but with the items that Doran has picked up, you know, maybe he's almost got a Void Staff. Like,
if he builds Void Staff, by the way, this is a 5-star from Huni.
Yeah.
Huni is in here, but like, just look at the build, the ignite, everything.
Look at this fight.
Perfect.
He comes out of the Hex Gate. Peanut sees him on the fringe of vision, then Doran says, "You can't run this way." And just commits the ultimate here. Guma flashes, but still finds his demise.
Yeah. One of the few times the Hextech Gate works against you, as now Faker, look at the damage, but we do have Owner here looking to try to punish, as they might just leave Delight. The collapse from T1 is pretty huge. Delight is going to flash over the wall, just to be matched by a hop from Faker, so that doesn't really work out for him. As now Doran, he's still up here. This is a massive shutdown if they do get it, and take a look at this. He's just going to be handed over to Faker eventually.
This is, by the way, a T1 Baron call.
Yeah, they're going to do it.
They set this play up, I think, before the Baron, knowing that if they can catch Doran there, if they bait it, this is the T1 map read. They called it. I bet Faker was telling you, hey, we kill him, we get Baron. They get 2. And now Homolife struggling to respond.
Viper's begging them to pull off the Baron, but they're not. They're not yet. The damage is still going into the Baron, and the amount of Baron damage that they have is also huge. But now Delight is here, and Faker is out of the fight, and now the Baron is leashed for Homolife Esports as they want to stick around. T1 don't want to let it go to waste. Owner over the top, but the spike goes to Peanut anyway, as now the fight will commence. Faker in a lot of trouble. He flashes the wall. Keria in a rough spot. Baguma with a little Zeri moment, pushing forward, looking for the kills, and Homolife Esports are isolated. They get the Baron, but they will not get the fight as T1 take them down.
Absolutely worth for T1, and that call to go topside there and to set it up, that's the kind of angle I was talking about earlier. When I said T1, they find these macro plays, these reads where they out-rotate, they come over there, they set a trap, they get those 2 kills, they start the Baron, and yes, the Baron is taken by Hanwha.
Here we go. Oh. Yep, there it is, right over the wall. Owner sets it up again, and Doran gets isolated and gets taken down.
They're getting even more. That's the 4th. It's a very negative Baron power play right here, and it all starts with this. As Faker comes over here, team's already rotating up. Look at where Keria is. They know they have an RTP. And this is T1 saying, if we can actually pick them, we get these kills, it's 100% a Baron. The Baron is spawning. They know the timer on this. Now, it was a little bit rocky, and Homolife played this fight beautifully. The poke coming through from Viper, harassing here, trying to break through the front line. And then as the smite fight commences, it's very close, by the way. It's not Owner who secures this, as you see the rotation over. He has to come over the wall here. I want to see how low it gets. I mean, insanely low. It's like 1258 there. And if they end up getting that smite T1, this might be the game. They do not get it. Hanwha will have the Baron defensively here, but they lose the ensuing fight. It's just a chase down of kills here for Guma. Yeah. What more impressive than anything here for me is just T1 knowing they can make this play right before Baron spawns at the top side.
Yeah, I think they had a ward to see it happen, and then they just set it up beautifully. And now Delight in a bit of an issue, but Faker as well going to be isolated, taken down by the ult of Peanut, and a little bit of help from Viper. And they do take him out of the fight. We have a Drake in a minute 15, so it's not ready to go just yet. But still, a nice pick onto Faker, able to shut him down.
Game, in terms of gold, still dead even. It's only a 300 gold lead here for Hanwha Life Esports at this moment in time. Pick onto Faker is going to give them a little bit more map control here, and that's going to be, setting up for their second Hextech Dragon of the game. See how this does transpire here. As Peanut is polyed, Keria takes a ton of damage. Looks like just an attempted turn here from T1 with this Zeri damage. Hanwha Life just kind of stay strong and push the Tristana instead. Doran's on the bottom part of this fight. There's no way Guma, even with those low health bars, could try to ult and turn that one around. T1, I think, eyes bigger than the stomach a little bit on that fight, but it was very close. Hanwha's team fighting this game has been fantastic.
Yeah, Peanut's just having a banger of a game. I mean, for me, even beyond the super fed Rumble, he would be my POG vote if Hanwha Life Esports end up winning this game.
Absolutely.
I mean, we'll have to see how the rest of the game does develop, but man, he's had a really strong game.
I mean, his ult as well on the Baron almost turned that around to where, Hanwha Life ended up winning the fight.
Yeah. It's just the Peanut effect in domestic leagues, especially against T1. He just really wants to win this game all the time. And that is going to be the second Hextech Drake. They're going to have to trade their top inner here as T1 do group for that.
Yeah, it's only one grub on this Tristana, but it is going to still be enough to take down this turret. So T1 get the money, Hanwha get the objective. It's a 2 dragon apiece situation here. It's not like this was sole point for Hanwha or anything like that. I think this is the right call for T1 considering the lack of map control they had around the dragon. They still get a decisive cross map here. As this is such a good game of League of Legends, to be honest with you, Valdez. Refreshing today. And I mean, we're looking at like the poke coming through from Viper here, trying to chunk down these T1 members. This is part of what the issue is here for T1. They have a Sejuani, but they don't otherwise have great consistent engage. They have a Lulu, but from behind, it's just so hard to actually punish these pushes here for Hanwha Life.
Yeah.
Faker's going to try to cross map here a little bit. We'll grab the blue buff and...
It's why we see stuff like barrel picking Rel into Poppy Alistair.
Exactly.
It's because teams are like, no, we just need a support that can engage. I don't care what this situation is, what the lane looks like, who I'm playing against, who I am. No, I'm playing Rel. And it makes sense sometimes. And like you point out, I think that T1 could use some extra engage. Certainly the side of Hanwha Life Esports has it in spades with the Alistair and the Poppy. And even the Rumble just to throw down an equalizer and just slow everybody down and get them, kind of force them, corral them into a fight.
Yeah. It's Crypt Bloom Rumble, so, 4.5.
Yeah, maybe even a 4. Huni really hates Crypt Bloom. He wants damage only. That's the only thing that matters.
I think, given the double 80 carry meta, though, the heal does feel very nice if you are able to proc that in the team fight. Not going to have the same raw stats as a Void Staff in terms of killing the bad guys, but Delight will spot out Owner, trade a ward here. Baron up in 30 seconds. And this time, Hanwha Life hoping to take it completely on their terms. They're putting their teleport, having Soul Laner, the Corki, on the bottom lane. Zeika is going to catch this wave here and can return to the Baron. The Rumble on the top side. Playing around this lack of teleport really well. And T1 trying to break into this without engage is very challenging, as we've discussed, and the fact that they have to deal with the Ezreal poke that they don't have any way to match. I think it's going to have to be a perfect Narbar from Zeus or Owner catching somebody off guard, Hanwha Life getting kind of front to back here, but Delight has his ultimate as well. This is kind of Hanwha Life saying, the ball's in my court, I actually get to control how this goes. And it's still 2 minutes away from that next dragon, so T1 trying to group bottom side here. Hanwha Life could just kind of follow the rotation.
Yeah, and the game very even in terms of gold, exactly even basically, as now Delight just trying to put his face into it and secure a red buff for the team. They will get it, but a little cost of his health bar. But yeah, pretty much exactly even gold, even dragons, but the ones that Hanwha Life Esports are arguably better. Although Chemtech not bad for the Lulu and stuff like that. So really anybody's game. It's really just going to come down to how these next fights do play out.
Yeah. And as T1 here, you have to somehow set a trap, I think, for Hanwha. And maybe that's just 4-1ing and trying to set up for big push in the in the mid lane or in the bottom lane. But the problem is, if you trade Baron for that, it's not going to be equivalent when Hanwha just group and then you can't engage on them, right? So it's a really tricky problem that T1 have to solve now. And with this set of wave clear here, I mean, they could just try to start this one up. The turn is decent, but they don't have the Gnar here. Zeus' Gnar bar not set, and I think Hanwha Life are like, absolutely not. They have this Scuttle here as well, so just call T1 on the bluff pretty instantly.
Yeah.
And I just don't, you know, the common classic T1 is to 4-man a lane and then force a rotation and then Faker gets a sick Emperor's Divide. You end up tricking Hanwha, right? But I don't just have enough control, and it's the double 80 carry mid doesn't suit Faker's playstyle in that way to where you can actually be that sick engage player when they make those same types of rotations they did topside there. But as this game slows down, it looks like no Baron will be taken, and Prio goes to Hanwha for this next drag, and that'll be Soul Point and 3 stacked Hextech Dragons worth of attack speed and ability haste for this Ezreal.
They really checked all the boxes in terms of controlling the vision around here. They've pushed out mid and bot as well. They've really just given over the top lane. They say, okay, whatever. We don't care about that. We just want to focus on this dragon. As I say that, though, they were angling up towards the Baron, and Zeus is still pushing the top lane. But yeah, I think you really got to set your eyes on getting as many Hextech Drakes as possible for Hanwha Life Esports. If we have an Ezreal with 4 Hextech Drake, Hextech Soul, the game might just end. And you've got not only Ezreal, you've got Corki, you've got Rumble. Everybody loves it.
Yeah, I mean, T1 might just walk out.
Hanwha Life Esports don't even care about the Baron. I think, okay, they're gonna actually chase T1 on this.
I mean, they have full control, and without an R bar, the turn here for T1, I mentioned it's not that great. Doran looking like he was going to try to solo this if T1 got cold feet, and they are going to get a little bit of cold feet, so even though this leashes slightly here, he's just maintaining that pressure. He doesn't have TP, unfortunately, but, I mean, if they could just play this dance with T1, eventually they get it, but T1 are going to hard call now. There's the TP coming through from the Corki.
Yeah, and, you know, they get the TP, they stop the Hextech Dragon take, and T1 are grouped up as a 4-man unit at this point in time. But Hanwha Life Esports still in control. They have the mid lane pushed, they have the bot lane pushed out, and they have control of the map at this point in time. So they're just going to go into the mid lane and maybe look to take out this inner here, although the mid lane wave does get taken. They're still going to isolate this turret and take it down.
Zeus' Gnar is used now as well. No way to try to collapse or make any sort of play here as Faker's in the side, but there's no turret to threaten. He's not deep enough. And man, Hanwha's macro this game, their control, they know.
Now you get the dragon.
Yeah, now they know. They just know T1 don't have any engage. They have the vision here with the Scuttle Crab as well. Viper gonna peel off. And they can rush over here, try to deny. Peanut and Delight are here. T1, nice try, but it's checkmate, is basically what Hanwha are saying.
Yeah, they had no vision of the dragon. They had no vision of mid lane. They have no idea if the dragon is being started or not, so they can't just wildly start the Baron, right? Because if they're all there, you probably just die because the game is too even, and Hanwha Life Esports are ahead, especially with 3 Hextech Drakes now. It's pretty clear that they are in control of this game and of the entire map.
I mean, Guma got 4 kills in this game, but he hasn't been able to team fight. They haven't been able to play the game. He hasn't been able to have his real Zeri team fight, whereas, yeah, same is true of Viper. He hasn't really had a team fight, but you know what he's done? He's pressed Q towards enemies a lot. He's poked them a lot. He's contested neutrals.
Yeah.
And so the value of the Ezreal in this game state is much higher when you're just kind of bouncing between waves and objectives. And unfortunately for T1, their most fed member just isn't able to fight, and it's not his fault. It's just the lack of engage, and it's the map control that's so oppressive for Hanwha. Now Hanwha are going to set their eyes on Baron, but Zeika on the opposite side of the map with his TP. He's level 18, by the way, and is sitting on 3.5 items.
Yeah.
Is going to do a lot of damage when he does show up, but as T1 again, when you're so reliant on this Gnar bar, it's hard to find the perfect moment. Hanwha aren't making any mistakes.
They definitely are not. And now Viper just going to E forward. Doesn't care about the Sejuani that's standing right there. He's just so strong. He's got the light right next to him if any engage was going to happen. Kind of reminds me of the old days with Ruler Core JJ playing Ezreal Tom Kent, where Ruler would just do whatever he wants, literally. Like, he would just jump into fights and he would be totally fine.
I mean, he's begging Owner to waste his ultimate for cleanse. He's like, yeah, go for it. That's literally all you engage.
Yeah, and now Faker doesn't really have a health bar, and Viper, again, is just eating forward, and nobody can do anything.
Yeah, and now this is the call for Hanwha Life to control this choke. Faker's half health. Great true shot there. Doran?
They're going to find Doran. I mean, there's a lot of damage, and Owner gives him the thumbs up, says, thank you very much, my guy. You're giving us a chance to come back in this game.
Yeah, that's a huge catch onto the Rumble. T1 up a man now. Teleport comes through from Faker. He was half health, but he can just come back here in full and push this wave. But now, teleport topside coming through here from Zeika, so they're going to get control over the Baron area.
Bit of damage coming out from Faker. He's going to blast them away. And now the Zeri finds her moment. Guma just going to flash in, takes down Zeika, who had flash, but died just way too quickly. Viper gets away.
Man, all it takes is one single mistake, one capitalization by T1. Doran is dead, and this game is back in their hands now. They've got full control. Zeri gets a kill there as they push forward onto the Corki, and you can see Zeka's face. It's written all over it. We had this game, it was locked up. There was not much T1 could do, but Doran going for that greedy wraparound is punished. Now T1 pushing with Baron.
It's not even over yet, though. I think Peanut is going to knock this guy away. There's still 3 Drakes, and it's going to be up to T1. Most important thing is deny Hextech Soul. Use this Baron, push in, pressure, and get that Hextech free.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, Hanwha Life Esports wait for the Baron to go down, and they probably just win anyway.
Oh, it's absolutely not over the game, but it is absolutely in T1's control now. And, you know, until this moment here, where Doran greeds while they're trying to control this Baron, which is wholly unnecessary, you know, I think Hanwha Life, they could do almost no wrong. And this is just a great punish here from Guma coming through.
Great ult from Faker, too, just to separate the fight.
Yeah.
As now Delight going to be forced to ult himself, but he might still die. Yeah, he realizes it has to flash away as well. Just trying to get some vision in their own jungle, but they can't even do that.
I think this goes to 7 Elemental Drakes. You know, I think T1 should be able to, with this push on the Delight, his ult's gone, the prio they have with Baron, they can kite back in 70 seconds and take their 3rd dragon of the game. And once the Baron is down, Hanwha can play the contest the prio game again. If anybody else dies here, though, I mean, there's still a minute and a half left of Baron, and T1 could end, so Hanwha need to be so measured in their defense.
True Shot Barrage not going to get much. Doesn't hit anyone there. And now Doran, you know, he does tons of damage, but he dies so quickly as well. As Faker's online, he's hitting level 18 Tristana. The range is insane. And Zeus just split pushing in mid as well. Gonna get some damage to that inhibitor turret.
I think we have to have a small conversation about this Morel Nomicon and Doran's inventory as well. It could be Azonius instead. I think would have offered him a lot of safety in this game, especially into double AD carry. The healing of the Zeri and how strong she is in a team fight in a pop-off moment definitely is very annoying, and I think the Morel Nomicon high value there, but otherwise, just constantly putting yourself at risk to do that damage. Otherwise, you're just an ult bot in this game with all that damage. And once you use that, you can't do much else if you're not safe to move forward.
Yeah, and eventually, you know, you're going to have Lulu shielding everybody. You've got Bloodthirsters on at least the Zeri. You've got a lot of tanky stats, and it's absolutely true. So T1, they do their job, like I was saying before, right? You take control with the Baron buff, you take the Drake away, and like you said, we're probably going to 7. This has been an excellent back and forth game of chess so far. Zeika should be able to take this down.
Yeah, Zeika level 18, we mentioned it earlier, he's super strong right now. We'll just take this turret off the map. Well played. Quick reaction there. They've always had Zeika pressuring the sides. Usually he's been in the opposite of the objective lane with the TP, but it's going straight forward into this top lane to actually get some value is pretty huge, because it is going to push him to that 4th item. As soon as he backs, he should be able to pick that one up, as man, this game is super tense. But as the Baron fades away, Hanwha Life now restart that game of clearing up the map, clearing up the vision, contesting mid-prio. Ezreal's trying to push these in. The static shiv's working. You know, Zeri's trying to contest that. The lack of teleport means that you've always got to keep the Rumble on the same side of the map as the objective, and this game is kind of repeating back to the classic, you know, League of Legends prio fight, as IE now picked up from Zeika with that kill of the turret topside. And I mean, here we go. This Baron might be the deciding factor in this game. It is going to spawn faster than the Hextech Soul, and T1 do have a lot of control over this now. Continue to put that pressure on from the residual Baron.
Yeah. Generally, you're going to use that Baron and get the Hextech Soul, as you mentioned. We'll see if that does come to pass. If Half-Life Esports do a good enough job of trying to wrest back control of the map, and maybe they delay enough for both of the objectives to be up, then it gets really interesting, because both of these teams want to get Hextech Soul, you would imagine, as, Viper. No, he's going to be totally fine, actually, doing a lot of damage into Owner. He's going to Arcane Shift forward again.
His judgment of when to go in is so good in this moment. He knows the Narbar is expiring for Zeus as well. He goes over, he knows he's got just enough wiggle room there against the Sejuani, who still doesn't have flashback up, no way to punish him. He's got cleanse as well, and he's just really walking the tightrope. Without that series of plays from Viper, I don't know if Hanwha Life actually get back control of their jungle, but he's just so incredibly confident with this Ezreal, and he takes it back here, and now Hanwha Life finally actually in the game, in the midpoint of the map, standing here at the middle of mid lane, trying to contest for that prio. They didn't get a huge win from this necessarily, but finally actually got control of their own part of the map. They still have a minute before that Baron spawns. Such a good game.
Yeah. Said it before, the role of Viper is just going to be the most important one, I think.
Absolutely.
On the side of Half-Life Esports. This guy, he's got to do that again and again if they want to win some of these fights. It's really the power of the Ezreal in this late game stage. It's what he's going to have over the other traditional AD carries on the side of T1. And he's been great. He's been perfect, as you mentioned. The timing of when he goes in is just pristine.
And Faker, no teleport, actually. Not going to get collapsed on here, but will have to back. Just a little bit too early, though, for Hanwha Life to pull the trigger. Baron's not up for 30. They have Hex Gates, T1 do, so they can rotate right back over as a 5-man unit. Guma wins the prio fight here with his Shiv. And this is where things are going to get a little bit messy. This is where Viper needs to be the carry. This is where he needs to land that poke and chip away at T1. So far, a little bit of damage with that true shot. This is so intense.
Yep. And that poke is really what it's going to come down to. Delight finds two, though, the front line, and the equalizer does push them back, but Redemption is up. See the healing deny into Owner, but he should have Warmogs by now. So I would imagine, Delight's pretty low. He's got his own Warmogs, and Zeus just face-checking into the brush, wants to get into Mega, but he's going to take a bunch of damage himself.
Super greedy to try to look for that Mega angle. Does not pay off. Now it's going to be wasted. He has teleport, though. Will be able to come back as Mininar in this fight. We'll have a little bit more Mega, depending on where he TPs to, but it's going to be hard for him to capitalize. Going straight in the mid lane.
TP comes in, they're going to try to focus down Peanut here, but he also has his own Warmogs. All the tanks have Warmogs, so unless they're actually killing someone in these fights, it's not going to matter all too much.
Yeah, just getting small tempo advantages is all they can really get with this poke, and Hanwha have said, look, I've got Keeper's Verdict. I'm going to come in here and start this Baron up. Maybe the Poppy is going to be the deciding factor here.
And Owner, he doesn't have his ult, so he's just got to go in there, and there it is! The Keeper's Verdict, he is gone. Owner is not in the fight, and Half-Life Esports get the Baron. Now we gotta worry about the Hextech Soul.
Warmogs be damned! If I can land that poke and push you away for just enough time, I can get on that Baron and send you away with the ultimate. Peanut plays it well. Owner, ultless, trying to check that brush there. Gets knocked back now. T1, there's 15 seconds till this dragon spawns. Hanwha Life rushing as fast as they can. Straight to the dragon, but T1 do have prio. Meganar already activated here for Zeus. It's probably going to be the game-deciding fight.
It absolutely should be. Let's see who does get it the first on, and this soul is huge as it goes to the Poppy. Peanut gets in, and he steals it away, and now you have this Ezreal, who was owning the game, now has Hextech Soul in this one. And T1 kind of head in hands after this one, figuratively. They have lost every objective.
They lost everything! Peanut playing the game of his life. He gets the Baron with the Keeper's Verdict, walks over and says, I'm taking the dragon too.
If Half-Life Esports win, who do you vote for POG?
I mean, it's got to be
Peanut or Viper.
It's got to be Peanut, though. I don't know. It's a tough one, man.
Like, Viper easily could get it too.
No, I mean, Doran was leading, I think, in the early parts with Peanut, but I don't think he's in the conversation anymore.
Not anymore.
And, I don't know. I'm going to have to go Peanut probably, but the game's not over. But it certainly feels like it is with Hextech Soul on this level 18 full build Ezreal. It is just so hard to play this one out as T1 with no engage. Good luck.
Good luck as the damage coming in once again, and Viper Can do whatever he wants. And they're just looking for it. Oh, there it is. Peanut finds the flank as well as Carrier is going to be assassinated from miles away. And now they will break down the front door of T1. Life Esports, they take everything on the map, and they will in fact take this game number 1. Unless Guma going 1v5. He's got a BT, but oh, it's not enough. Nice try, but Life Esports will in fact win game 1.
There's your Morel Navicon value. Down goes Guma, and down will go T1. Great game by both squads. The tenacity of T1.